Welcome to Home of Politics, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have had a good day. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Do not forget to give me any of the suggestion in the comment section. I will try and I will respond to them. My good people, today the President and the Chief Justice, together with their committee, they have met in the State House and discussed some of the things that they had intended to discuss. And this had been spoken a lot earlier last week, where the President was saying he's ready to have a talk with the judiciary, and the CJ also said she's ready to talk with the President. And so it had to comprise of the three arms of government, and today was the day. But before we continue, let me ask you this simple question. What is your opinion on the meeting that the Chief Justice and the President, together with other leaders like Moses Wetangula, who met in the State House? What is your opinion towards or on the meeting or on the agenda that they discussed? What is your opinion? Please tell me your genuine opinion about their meeting, and I will respond to what you will tell me. My good people, one of the people or one of the politicians who have been strongly condemning the issue of luring the judiciary into talks is the opposition leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. He had questioned the judiciary very, very strongly because Raila Odinga has held talks with President William Samoei Ruto on several circumstances, and at the end of every talk, it have never bore desired fruits, according to Raila Odinga. All in all, every meeting that the side of William Ruto have been holding meetings or talks with the side of Raila Odinga, it have been a win situation on the side of William Ruto, while Raila Odinga loses. And so Raila Odinga warned the judiciary to stay away from the talks that the president is targeting to twist them. But the Chief Justice did not listen, and the meeting was today.
Second thing is that we read that the CJ, that is the Chief Justice, the head of judiciary, has gone for a meeting with the president in the State House. This, in our view, is an irresponsible move. If there is supposed to be a dialogue, this dialogue should be held in a neutral place. State House is the head of the executive, is the seat of the executive. That's where the president resides. If there's going to be a dialogue over issues of governance, should be held in a neutral ground. But this means that the judiciary itself is being compromised by the executive. The judiciary is being held hostage by the executive. And we've seen this before. We saw it happen under the rule of Mr. Moi. And we have tried to caution the current Chief Justice not to go to bed with the executive. This is an unfortunate development. And we hope that the rest of members of the judiciary are not going to be compromised. We want the judges to remain firm and do their work in accordance with the law and the constitution of our country. This was a statement that we wanted to make today. Thank you very much. God help Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana.
Asante.
Today, while Raila Odinga was in Lamu County, he really questioned the issue, and he regrets so much that even after passing a serious warning to the CJ and the judiciary at large, the judiciary went ahead under the decision of the CJ to have a meeting with the president. And he really regrets because he terms that issue as the act of the judiciary going in bed with an executive, because he knew at the end of it all, the executive or the president's side will win the case. This is because it is not the first time Raila Odinga and his side have experienced this issue of being defeated in almost every meeting or any dialogue that they stipulate. For instance, Raila Odinga had refused the issue of talks and being lured into conversation with the president or the government. But when it came to the issues of taxation, I don't know, the issue of high living standard and other things, it was necessary for Raila Odinga and his party and his members to agree on the negotiation for the well-being of Kenyans. We all know about the National Dialogue Committee that have been conversing starting from last year for a period of 3 months, only to come to an end, to have a losing point where the points or the grievances presented by Raila Odinga and his team were only fulfilled maybe 2 or 1, while the other side of William Ruto scored a big win in the talk. I don't know if they were manipulated, because these two committees, the side of Raila Odinga and William Ruto, everybody had their freedom of expression. They had to deny or accept whatever was not rightful for the both parties. But at the end of it all, there was a betrayal, because whatever the side of Raila Odinga wanted, it was not given to them fully, because they were manipulated in one procedure or another. And this is to do with the things like affordable, the issue of high taxation, the issue of living standards or cost of living of Kenyans, the issue of reconstitutioning of IEBC, among other agendas that were discussed in the Bomas of Kenya by the NADCO committee. But at the end of it all, I don't know how it happened, the team of William Ruto twisted the side of Raila Odinga to an extent that they accepted creation of more opportunities and more offices in the government. They accepted to prioritize other things than the cost of living. And from the way things were going before they finalized the NADCO meeting or the NADCO report, it was really evident that the committee of President William Samoei Ruto had manipulated the side of Raila Odinga by prioritizing some of the issues that are not urgent, because we expected the cost of living, taxation and other things will come first. But this was as a result of the cleverness that William Ruto has on his side as a way of targeting Raila Odinga. And so when the opposition, or Raila Odinga as a leader of opposition, was warning the judiciary to stay away from these talks, he knew that at the end of it all, the judiciary will have no say, and even if they will have the right of proposing anything that they wanted, then at the end of it all, they will be twisted. And so the main agenda of the executive, the judiciary, and the other arm of government coming together, and the legislature, that is the legislature coming together, was to discuss on how they can fight corruption within these three arms of government, so that they can enhance proper functioning of our government. But even if they came together to discuss and other things, we had the president saying that he is committed to fighting corruption in any way, and if the corruption will not be fought, then he will not be listening to the court orders. And so this corruption issue, which was to be fought, it was to be fought in another specific way. And according to the spokesman of the State House today, he said that the president and the judiciary and the members of the legislature met so that they can discuss on how they can embark on serious or significant fighting of corruption in all the three arms of government. And it was concluded that lack of funds in the judiciary was the main problem that is making fighting of corruption to be a problem. And so they agreed on a budget whereby the budget was to fund the procedure of fighting corruption within the judiciary. And this fund will entail employing 36 judges, I think 25 of the High Court and that 25 of the for the High Court, and the remaining judges will be of Court of Appeal. And so this is to add manpower to the judiciary, and this fund will help to run some of the processes in fighting corruption. And so it dawns in our mind that maybe the problem that has been in the judiciary is not even corruption. It is lack of funds to fight corruption itself, because if they have been given funds as a first priority, instead of maybe singling out or sacking those corrupt judges or bringing them into books, they are using the term lack of funds. That is making us not to fight corruption. We don't know in which way, but it tells us that the judiciary maybe have been compromising the projects of the president. They have been against anything that the government is bringing into court to lose the cases only because they lack funds. They have insufficient manpower, because today they have been promised they will be provided with another funds, and these funds also will facilitate employment of more 36 judges. And we do not remember the time when maybe the judiciary complained that they do not have enough judges to work in our courts in Kenya. And so the issue of bringing in new employment, new judges on board, then it is questionable, because maybe adding funds and employing more judges by this decision of the meeting that was held today in the State House just tells us maybe the president of the government is trying to bring in more judges who will be defending him during his cases in the court, and the fund that have been proposed maybe will help the remaining judges to clear their problems here and there, so that the president and the government can have an easy way to bring out cases in a very, very simple way without being opposed. And the other thing that we are getting in this after the meeting, it is that maybe because the problem of the judiciary was funds and insufficient manpower is not corruption, then it means that with the availability of more judges and enough funds or enough budget that have been assigned to them, then President William Samoei Ruto is very sure that he will never be opposed, or it will be easy for him to find a way out of the court without any problem. We have had so many citizens complaining about the issue of the meeting, and some of the citizens are saying this is a betrayal to them because they were depending on the court. But at the end of it all, the CJ has fallen in the trap of the president. I don't know what you think, because at first I asked you about your opinion on the meeting of the CJ and the president and the other members who are present in the committee or in the meeting today at the State House. And according to how the opposition leader just responded to the meeting that was held today, he feels regretting. Even some of the Kenyans that have been interviewed, they feel regret of the highest order, because they thought the judiciary will not accept to have a dialogue with the president and the legislature, only because at the end of it all they will be manipulated. But unfortunately it has happened, and the agenda was not corruption case, but the agenda was to increase number of judges and to add funds to the judiciary so that it can favor maybe the side of the government. I don't know what you think about this meeting between the three arms of the government, but sincerely speaking, It have been a disappointment to those who are feeling that the judiciary or the CJ will make tough decision not to follow what the president will say. But unfortunately, she has fallen in the trap. I don't know what you think, the relationship that will exist between the judiciary and the president and the legislature, because these arms of government work together, and this is just to tell us that the judiciary will never work against the president again. Let us wait until the last ruling will be made. But once the meeting has been held before the ruling, then everything is going to be straight for President William Samoei Ruto. That is according to my analysis. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a contrary opinion or any addition, you are welcome to share. I will make sure I will respond to your comments. Have a good day.